Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Neptune Sunday. It's your boy V Moss.
Wanna do it's Vogue.
Vogue, what's good? It's 2024. This is it. Season 4, baby.
Season 4. Happy New Year. This is our Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We
Even
haven't spoken
though,
to each other for real, for real. We've been texting, but
true, this is our first time seeing faces. And
yeah,
yeah, so Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024.
it's nice to be here. It's fresh and clean over here.
So, everyone, our beautiful audience and subscribers, welcome to season 4 of Neptune Sunday. And we are going to go in a special route. We're going to go do something a little different for season 4, something that we've never done before in any of our 3 seasons. But we're going to have a theme for the episodes, or most of the episodes for this season, season 4. The theme is a tribute to R&B.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
So there's, a couple of reasons why we're choosing this theme and why we're choosing this theme for this season. So, I feel like R&B is pretty popular right now as a genre, and it's a mixture of there's a lot of new energy, not in necessarily any big stars, but still a lot of good R&B music that's coming out that people will love and appreciate. But I also feel like there's R&B throwback vibes everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
there's R&B parties everywhere. A shout out to my man Boss Bags who works with Family and R&B block party team down here in 7x7. But I feel like there's just R&B energy all around us. And so here, what's the perfect time then now to talk about the Neptunes and the R&B?
Absolutely. I feel like there's like a bit of a resurgence. And as we talk about a lot, like Pharrell and Chad are really good at tapping into like the new people and sharing their sound with those new people. So like that's really fun to hear. And also like the more popular people of now. So I think people who listen to this podcast know that like R&B is like my sweet spot. So like I'm super excited about these conversations.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Cousin B, who is actually the Tiny Desk executive producer. Had a cool tweet a while back. He's like, "There's way too much R&B music for you to play any rap songs at an R&B party." And I was like, "100%, bro. Like, I don't. If I'm going to R&B, I want a two-step and I want to sing. I don't want to hear any hood nigga shit. I don't want to hear it." But so obviously we got to talk about, and what we're going to talk about throughout the season is just the Neptunes and their connection to R&B. So, they have a rich history in R&B. It's a really big part of how they got their start, working with Teddy Riley and Tammy Lucas and ultimately getting that placement on SWV with Use Your Heart, which is crazy. So we're going to cover all of those things, all of the different dynamics, working with some really cool guests, hopefully. Going to cover some really important, frequent collaborators and cover some very important songs and albums that we may or may not have already covered, mostly may not. So I'm excited. I'm excited, Bo. What are you excited about? Don't be too specific though, because we don't want to give away any hints.
Okay, I won't be specific, but there is someone that I've mentioned 100 times on this podcast and a certain album that they have that's super important to me. I think that might come up.
It probably will. So hopefully all you guys who listen on a regular basis know what we're talking about. If not, stay tuned. And also, like, just to be transparent and like really honest about it, like we really want to have more women listeners and followers and supporters. Not, I mean, just people interacting with what we got going on. And I think R&B is definitely a good way to do that. So definitely be looking out for a lot of women focused guests and women focused music topics coming on this season. So overall, I'm excited.
I like the attention, but it can't just be me. So,
Right. And definitely that means that we've continued to set the tone for or set the scene for Vogue's friends to join us at some point.
hey, working on my guest list.
All right, here we go. So, for those of you who have been subscribers and listeners for the first 3 seasons, we have kind of a tradition that we've had on the show so far where we start the season with a battle episode. So, gotta start the R&B season tribute with a battle that's gonna start the season with a bang. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna go through Usher versus Justin Timberlake.
Can I say something real quick? I did not say this to Vaughn before we recorded, so this is a surprise to him.
Uh-oh.
I feel like I got bamboozled a little bit.
Listen, listen. Go ahead. Bamboozled how, Vogue?
I don't know how much y'all know about me personally. I'm also an astro girly. So I made my choice of artists based on their astrological sign. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I feel like they're for real. When we do these battle episodes, there are no real winners or losers. We all win because we get the music. But I feel like I was maybe at a disadvantage because of who I chose.
Listen, so I'm representing Usher and Vogue is representing Justin Timberlake. I'm gonna say two things real quick. The first thing is I feel like Justin Timberlake is getting that treatment that I mentioned about Jay-Z on the last episode, where I felt like we do way too much Jay-Z talk, but he's very important. So I said scrap it. Same thing goes with JT. We do a lot of JT talking here. This will be his fourth time being like part of an episode, and I'm just putting that out there, but it is what it is. He's a huge part of the story. So, JT, here we are. You versus Usher. The second thing I'm gonna say is
Mm.
when Vogue said that she was choosing Justin Timberlake, I was so confused because she literally hates the Man in the Woods album.
I
So,
hate it.
so I don't understand what song she's about to play. You'll probably just get all the songs from Justified, which hey, it is what it is. But it, here we're here. We're here now. It's too late.
Okay, I've got my selections chosen. I feel like they all have some good reasoning behind them. Let's do it.
All right, so just go with your quick like background about Justin Randall Timberlake, just for anyone who may not be familiar with him.
Well, this curly hair guy was once a member of a group that we may know as NSYNC, hailing from Tennessee, and had this totally separate career prior to working with the Neptunes. The introduction of him working with the Neptunes was with NSYNC. They collabed on the Girlfriend remix, which, as we know, we've talked about here, was kind of controversial for Nelly because it was like Nelly's this rapper trying to be taken seriously, and then he's hanging out with like this pop group. Fire song. I think we all still have that on like a rotation. But when he did his, introductory album as a solo artist, Justified, he did work with Neptunes. They produced like half the tracks, and Timbaland produced like half the tracks. There is a break in that relationship that I actually didn't know the reason behind until I like started thinking about the songs for this. There was a label dispute with Jive and Clips. So like Pharrell and his team is, trying to get them out of that label. So it made it hard to work with other artists on Jive. And that is what kind of caused the rift between, not personally, but from a business aspect, between him and Justin Timberlake. So like they didn't work together on Future Sex Love Sounds or on the 2020 Experience. That was all Timbaland. Timbaland and Timberlake have a super close relationship, but they reunited for Man in the Woods. And we'll talk about that later. But like they're cool. He was at the last what's their festival called on?
He was at something in the water in
Something
20.
in the Water. Thank you.
He was at something in the water in 2021, not last year, but the year before
Not
that.
last. Okay. He's beating his feet. It was a sight to see. But
Yeah.
I have a lot of love for Justin Timberlake. This is why I chose Justin Timberlake, besides him being an Aquarius like me. I think that he brings something interesting, and like he's somebody who is polarizing in a lot of ways, but at this point in his career, he is popular enough where like the songs that he comes out with, the energy he has, it's like on a very commercial level. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there because it's gonna spoil something I'm getting ready to talk about. But I think that he has an important relationship in music, and a lot of people have followed his career. They understand his career, and he does have a good relationship, a good friendship with Pharrell. So I am proud to represent Justin Timberlake today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there was a other tone clip that was going around on social media last week, just of Pharrell talk. I think he was talking to Tyler actually, but just talking about how he had a call with Michael Jackson and he ended up giving those songs that he was trying to give to Michael to Justin and he didn't know it. It was a cool clip. Justin's got got a song coming out called Sanct. Like I don't know if it's out, but I just happened to see it because it's being featured in the ESPN NFL playoff commercials, which is like I haven't seen any rollout for it. I just saw it and I was like, did that say Justin Timberlake? And then I listened, I caught it again and it's like, oh, it did say Justin Timberlake. So he's got something cooking because he's doing like literally tomorrow, he's doing a homecoming show back in Memphis. So he's got something going. I don't know, man. This man, I don't know. So I say that, and I'll tie it all back together at the end. But I'll give a little bit of background really quick on Usher Raymond the Fourth from Dallas, Texas. It's crazy to think that Usher will be 46 in October. Like that's wild.
Yeah, I barely believe it.
That's wild. Just like a lot of Black singers in our age group and generation got the start in the church choir. His first self-titled album came out in 1994 at the age of 16, but that was just kind of a precursor to his three-peat, I like to call it, where he really blew up and became a superstar with My Way, 8701, and Confessions. Confessions undoubtedly cemented Usher as one of the top music artists of the 2000s for sure. He's maintained that success since then, consistent with the hits. I think maybe not having a full product that was as acclaimed as Confessions or even 8701, but still great music, a lot of singles that everyone loves, from Love in This Club, There Goes My Baby. You know, even when them fist pumping on OMG and DJ's falling in love again, you know, he's definitely stayed relevant and been able to reinvent himself or just continue to make good music that he wants to connect with a bunch of different people, a bunch of different age groups and backgrounds and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
History
Okay.
with Neptunes, obviously, I think that he has one of the most iconic Neptune songs of all time, which I'm sure we'll get to later. You know, other than that, his early work with them, I don't really want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil my notes, but he's got some good songs that people know. He's got some okay songs that people might have heard. He's got a bunch of unreleased songs that people may have never ever heard. And we're gonna get into all of that on this episode. And so what I was saying about bringing it all together with saying that Justin's got something cooked up. Usher also has an album coming out right before he performs in at the Super Bowl. So maybe they both got albums coming out at the same time, which is even more perfect for this battle we're about to do. And speaking of the Super Bowl, we know that the man JT has performed the Super Bowl technically three times because he did NSYNC and then twice by himself solo. So yeah. So two questions we have to answer before we get into the battle.
Oh.
The first question is Justin Timberlake an R&B singer?
Oh, this is for me.
I guess it's for both of us to
Here's why I struggle with that question. Because as a lot of artists, so I'm not going to put this just on Justin Timberlake. I think that like the continuous thing I hear from a lot of artists, they don't like being put into like this box of being one genre or the other. And it was a really big deal when Justified came out. I think that a lot of the Black audience considered an R&B album. And I think that makes sense because there are songs written for Michael Jackson on there. And that like calls something familiar to us, familiar to our tastes. And I think Justin kind of like pushed back against that concept as a concept. But for my ear, yeah, it's R&B.
yeah.
At least up until Man on Earth.
I think it just depends on what song/album you're talking about.
Yeah.
And like we talked about Girlfriends earlier. Girlfriend is like that's an R&B song. Like
Absolutely.
and just Nelly's addition on the remix cements it as an R&B song with a rapper feature. Like so, you know, I think it depends on the song. I think it depends on the setting. I mean, it just depends. So that's a tough question to answer definitively, but I think we can go either way. And it's enough. His music is enough R&B that he's made it into the first episode of the tribute to R&B. So here we are. Justin
Right. I was going to say, I'm going with yes for the purposes of our theme this season.
So then the next question is Usher the king of R&B?
Absolutely, no doubt.
I feel like you got to agree with that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know who else we could pull that has had like, you know, like I mean you could like and this is one of those conversations that like we have all the time in sports when we talk about LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan, right? Like different eras and like different other stuff that goes into it. Like, you know, who would we compare him to from a different era? Like Luther Vandross or something, or like I don't know. Like I'm just saying, there's no one that's current that is
Yeah.
competing with him for the crown. No one currently, like no one since he's been out. But if you go in the past, like when R&B probably was a little bit stronger, I don't know. I think it's tough.
I think it's a completely different musical landscape, though. If you're talking like the 70s, 80s,
Right.
and R&B was a little bit more like in the mainstream space. That is a different sound, comes from a different place than I think R&B of the 90s, thousands, and the longevity of his career, I think is the number one thing for me that makes him the king. No one has had that kind of longevity, does not perform at that level for that long. Like there are people who I've heard thrown against him, and I'm like, their catalog doesn't compare. Their charisma doesn't compare. Like there's nobody for me that has what Usher has.
Yeah. And I think it's also like, I think there's some similarities in what we just talked about in terms of the genre, in terms of the timing, right? Like we're talking about in 2024, there's a lot of artists that we think are cool or good, but they just get kind of drowned out because there's so much going on and like hip hop is still so massive. But I think back in the 70s and 80s when hip hop was still growing and R&B was our main, R&B and soul was our main music genre for Black people specifically, like there was a lot of artists and they were all good and they were all like stars. Like,
Yeah.
so I think that that's why it's hard to take a king or compete with a king or find a king from those two different ones to be able to pull some people and say, put those people against Usher
Yeah.
because they're not winning.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed.
All right, here we go. Okay. Okay. I feel like I didn't really think about this, but I think we're just gonna go ladies first.
Okay.
Just
Gender equality on this podcast. Okay, well, as an American,
oh my gosh. You pulling on the stars and stripes out here. What is
and
happening?
y'all, if anybody knows me, they did not expect that line because what? But that should tell you what song I picked. This is a 2003 single. You may have heard this little ditty
Mm,
on a McDonald's commercial.
mm,
This was actually written as a jingle. It's modeled after the German version, which was pre-existing, Ich liebe es.
mm.
Excuse my accent, I am a Spanish speaker. And he was offered $6 million to record that single. Ultimately, Neptunes came back around and turned the jingle into like a full-out song, which I actually didn't realize that they were the producers on this song. So forgive me, Neptunes gods. Little known fact, Pusha T's rap vocals, because he does take credit for this, Pusha T's rap vocals appear on the track for the first ad that came out. And like McDonald's is synonymous with like, I'm pretty sure there are classes in college about McDonald's and capitalism, but this is like such a prolific jingle. It had to be on my top 7 list. And it's actually very fun. It's very catchy. Like it's a well-written song. So like I'm not mad at it.
I'm loving it. Okay. Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay. Do you need to play it? I think you should play it. Play
I
it
think
just for people. I don't know. Just
if you don't know this song, I don't know what to say to you. This is where I'm gonna start.
God. It's such a like
It's even got the groove in it.
the that's why Pusha T is like the fast food beef rapper, battle rapper now. Because he's got McDonald's money, he's got Arby's money. What a guy. That's my guy.
I actually live next to McDonald's. I might go get some fries after this. That's how well the song was written. It automatically makes me want it.
All right. So this first song that I'm gonna play is one that I think most people won't know, but maybe a few diehards will. Here we go.
Why you lie to me? You was everything I needed. Now when sweet lights were, that's my stomach aches and sweat in my bones. This is so sudden. What I'm supposed to do?
So that is Sweet Lies. Sweet Lies is a B-side track from the Yeah single, Confessions. And like I don't even really associate Yeah as like I don't associate Yeah with Confessions. When I think about Confessions, I just Yeah is such a massive, just like one-off, crazy,
Yeah.
everywhere mega hit that it doesn't really give me Confessions vibes when I think about it. But
Yeah.
That song, yeah, is on Confessions, and the single had Sweet Lies on it, produced by the Neptunes. Song also features one of our Neptunes favorites, Vanessa Marquez.
Hey,
So
shout out.
yeah, but dope song. I don't think it's available. It's not available on streaming. I have that obviously because I'm cool with Corey Towns and Niles. But yeah, it's a dope song. Like one of a lot of these Lucy's that we'll get into later that Pharrell, Chad worked with Usher on that a lot of people maybe may not have heard before. All right, you're up.
Cool. Okay, this next song. Okay, we didn't talk about rules. This is technically not Justin's song. So, but
Oh my gosh.
felt like it deserved a place.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
Okay.
Uh, this is actually from one of Pharrell's albums. It's brand new. That is on the, hold on one second because I cannot remember anything today. Oy, oy, oy. That is on the Girl album. And so, as we talked about, Justin hadn't been on a whole lot of stuff with the Neptunes in between his first album. But this came out in 2014. Brand new. I think he has a verse and he's on the chorus, but it's just like a really fun, happy song. For me, I actually will play the woman card here in that, it makes me feel really excited. It makes me feel really confident. I think it's just really well produced, like surprise. But I'll play a little clip for you right now.
My love.
That's such a good song.
It's never quits, and it's never wins. I thought about what I wanted.
It's so good. I think people forget about it too.
It's a really good song. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not really cheating. That's okay. That's okay. I see you. You had to work really hard to get this 7.
Oh,
I know you did. I just can't wait to see if any Man of the Woods songs actually made a cut. I'm not expecting it, but don't ruin it. Okay.
no, I wouldn't.
Okay. Next song for me is one of the more recent tracks from Neptune's Pharrell and Usher.
Let me put my shades on. Now tell me what to do. Should I be twisted? Should do it. You know I don't like. You have stupid, but I let it go that way. That booty starts to stupid. Guess that made it okay. You had me something stupid, but I let it.
So that song Twisted is from the album Looking for Myself, which came out in 2012. And it's really part of that like 12, 13 resurgence of Pharrell that we've talked about on this show before. The song itself like gives this kind of like 60s retro vibe. It's kind of based off of the Fats Domino's Twist song. Usher was talking about at the time that he was trying to trigger or trying to like tap into those old school vibes that CeeLo and Bruno Mars were into at the time back in 2012. So you get that from the song. I think it's a good song overall. It's a good verse from P on there as well. It was interesting that there was conversation that at the time, the concept of the song was like the twisting was related to his ex-wife Tamika. So the quote his Usher says, "It's funny because I knew that people would potentially assume that. And me and Pharrell talked about it, and he explained it to me as we were writing. Nah, he said, that's not what it's about, Ush. What it's about is a person who is going through something that he can't understand and can't control this woman's emotion. And it's a song that actually celebrates women. So here we go. Not about his ex-wife. But speaking of ex-wives, interesting fact I learned this week as well. Not to get too deep in my chatty patty gossip, because I don't like doing that on here. But Usher's second wife, I can't think of her name right now, but she's like in music and fashion, is now dating Questlove, and they live together in New York. Such a 180. It's just such a different, yeah, just interesting fact. I thought that you would find that interesting.
I love the gossip. So thank you. That was for me. I didn't even know he had a second wife. So things you learn, the more you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's get this out of the way. There is one.
There we go.
There is one. Only one. Almost 2, but only one. I'm not a Southerner, but on this song, I really appreciate, this is from 2018's Man of the Woods. Really appreciate that, you know, Justin Timberlake represents for the South. And it's like fast paced. It has a really like cute breakdown. There's also a little harmonica. I love a harmonica.
Mm,
It's Midnight Summer Jam.
yeah.
Yeah, the breakdown is the part I really, really love. This actually, when I was listening to the album, I felt like this set my expectations high for all of the tracks. And I was like, okay, all right. We didn't all stay that way.
Listen, you just that Midnight Summer Jam is like a 2018 hoedown break, and you put that was the one you chose. I'm surprised.
Because when we did the episode, the one thing I said, I was like, I preferred the places where he leaned in to the Americana as opposed to like doing this kind of like fusion type thing. Listen, I get the concept. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my album.
All right.
Y'all can do better than this. Y'all can do better than this. Y'all can do better than this. Act like the South ain't the shit. Act like the South ain't the shit. Act like the South ain't the shit. Y'all can do better than this. Y'all can do better than this. Act like the South ain't the shit. Wait. It's just a summer jam.
That's obviously the beginning of the song, which is like a little bit more classic Neptune sound. It has like the pop and the fun and but it goes into like the quote unquote hold down breakdown, which I like. I loved it.
Oh man. Okay. My next song is another unreleased joint that is a personal favorite that maybe people haven't heard.
Did you play on these? Did you play on these? It takes a few minutes to get you start. Now I remember you. Don't take it personal. Hey.
So that's Don't Take It Personal. Came out around 2006, unreleased track. Just love the vibe, man. I just one of my just love the vibes of that song. I think I'm a huge fan of when P does his hey ad lib. Just it's so good. It's very well done on that song specifically. It's also very well done on Overdose Last Kiss. That's a great song and a great Pharrell doing his hey ad lib, and it's a different version of it. Like he kind of plays with it. Like that one is more quick, like hey, and the Overdose one is more like hey.
The crazy thing is I know exactly the different haze you're talking about.
What a time. What a time. I'm gonna edit that part out. I sounded crazy right there. No, I'll keep it. Keep it for
it's important to the lore.
All right, you're up.
All right, so now we're getting into some Justified. This song, well, classic Vogue moment. I think that maybe I danced to this. The song is called Senorita. It was one of the singles from the Justified album, which, if I'm remembering correctly, came out in what, 2002, 3, 4?
Yep. All 2002.
Yeah, thank you. It has like a Latin edge to it. It has a call and response, which is something I really love in R&B songs. I think that everyone knows what this song sounds like, but I'm absolutely gonna play a clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you. He's a friend of mine. Yes, I am. And he goes by the name Justin.
How cool is it to have Pharrell introducing you on your first solo album?
First song, first album. It was it was a moment. It was a big moment. That was a moment.
Great video. Go watch the video if you haven't seen it.
So I think we talked about this before. I think Senorita is like, I think it just gets slept on as one of the better songs from that album, just because that album is so good. And
It's so good.
yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that like that song actually, I mean, not that song, that album actually had a lot of singles, and some of which I think live in infamy.
Right.
And like just by virtue of that, you kind of miss out on Senorita. But like,
Yep.
hear that when you're out like at a two-step party, you're always gonna like have a fun moment. That's a good one.
Yep. All right. My next song. Oh, this one, this is gonna be fun. Okay. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna play it.
Say the name. Imagine she can't get away. She don't want nobody in the space.
That is She Came to Give It to You, which was released in 2014. It's technically from the album Hard to Love, but for some reason didn't make the final album, and it was only only released on the Japanese version of the album. So more throwback vibes to this song. Like this is 80s kind of boogie type inspired music. Apparently, here we go. Quotes a lyrical melody from Just Be Good to Me, a single by the SOS band,
Mm.
written and produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And it also quotes a lyrical melody from Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye, which we all know has got a little bit of history with my man.
I
But
don't know who that is.
but that that never got I don't think that this song was ever included in that whole conversation, which is good. So somehow there was a difference between that song that maybe interpolated it too much and this song which interpolated just enough not to for people to be mad, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I
I
don't
think it
I
was
don't
said,
know. I don't
can't
know.
copyright a feeling.
Can't copyright a feeling, P. I believe you. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you,
So
bro.
yeah, I'm on his side here. But great song. Actually, you were really digging through the crates here, and it's making me, I'm like, am I just not familiar? I know this song. I'm not as familiar with Usher's catalog as I thought I was. So actually, this is really fun for me. I'm like, oh yeah, like I haven't heard this in a super long time, or oh, I haven't heard this before.
So a couple other things about this song, right? So I think I've mentioned this before. I don't want to get flamed. I'm not the biggest Nicki Minaj fan. I respect her talent as a rapper, but her music is not for me, and that's okay. This is probably like one of like five Nicki Minaj verses that I know and actually like. I think she does a really good job. This is 2014. This is like when all my sports fans out there, when the Clippers were dealing with their owner who was a racist and they like boycotted and weren't gonna play. So when she said clip these niggas like Sterling Sterl, I was like, yo, you went off a little bit on that. That was actually a bar right there a little bit. But there's a VMA performance too where I remember that too. Like she comes out and then like she starts rapping and when she walks out, he goes and grabs a guitar and starts playing the guitar. And there's a moment where he like gets down on one knee and she's like twerking and he's like banging his shoulder and his head against her butt. Like
I remember that.
it was so like it was weird, but it was like, okay, cool. I'm just happy you guys are doing this song. This is dope. Like this is dope that you're doing this song. I didn't
Such a memorable moment.
crazy. And
I remember
it
like it
was
was
so
yesterday.
aggressive. It was so aggressive.
Oh my God. I share your feelings about Nikki. Absolutely prolific talent, absolutely unhinged artist. So, but I'll give her props. And she actually has I don't know if the other one is on your list, but she has a good couple of collabs with Usher. So
So the other fun fact is like this song is in a commercial for Honey Nut Cheerios with Usher in it. Just the beat. But like I saw it and I was like, huh? I was so confused. And it fit the commercial. Like it was really good. The bee is like dancing and stuff. Like, I mean, Honey Nut Cheerios bee dancing with Usher. Like that's good advertising if you ask
hey,
me.
we are talking about capitalism today.
But
So
it just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. All of this activation for this song that wasn't even on the album. But
sometimes the song is good.
that also shows what we talked about before, the consumption of music because it wasn't on the album, But this is in 2014, which is that weird window between I'm downloading all my shit. Oh, all the download sites are crashed or they're spammy or got viruses. So if I like a song, I actually got to buy that shit on iTunes. And I bought this on iTunes because I'm like, oh, it's Usher and Neptunes. So like Usher and Pharrell, like I got it. Yeah, I got to have this.
Gotta hear
I can't
this.
get it
Yeah,
anywhere else. I got to pay $1.99 for it.
sure. I'll
So
do
maybe
it.
that's why it worked. And that actually makes a lot of sense.
It does. You really reasoned your way out of that.
Shout
I'm a
out to
fan.
Honey Nut Cheerios B though. Never thought we'd have the Honey Nut Cheerios B make the show.
This is a wild episode.
I told you. I told you. I told you it was gonna be fun. I told you.
Okay, I have another song that is not technically Justin's. Oops, but it is so good. Oh my God. And this is one song I'm not going to name. I'm just going to play it, but it also has a very important frequent collaborator on this song too, actually.
Mm.
I'm not sure I see don't help for me.
Wow. Justin really did something on that song.
Yeah.
That song gives me the Holy Ghost fever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a
You
really
got
good one.
Snoop, you got Charlie Wilson. It's funky. It was on his Rhythm and Gangster album. Like I would say that is in like one of my top of all time Neptune songs.
Very good song. We will be at some point in this year celebrating 20 years of Rhythm and Gangster in 2024. Yep. Yep. That's another one. See, I underestimated you here. I knew you were gonna have to pull at least one Man of the Woods out, but I totally forgot about these other ones. And you got okay, Vogue. Okay, my next one is another unreleased favorite.
Yeah. You're Usher. Trying to find a man right in the ears.
What?
You can help. Told me, don't look for love, not find it, be patient, babe. I've got food and sleep, I guess I have to wait. I don't know what she's not there.
Oh, that was my song.
That right there sounds like it definitely was something that was trying to tap into that Michael Jackson vibe for sure. For sure. Hitting those high notes like that. I think that's from the Confessions leftover from Confession Sessions. Got an incredible like pre-verse from Pharrell that hops in. That's really dope. Something online I saw said that it was originally a song for Jamie Cullum, who we know as the singer of At the End of You Can Do It Too. But I couldn't find that version or couldn't find anything that confirmed that. But
I'll take it up.
one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
That's a really good one. I used to wear that out. That was
Yes.
a favorite of mine.
Yes. When that came out, that was like that's that shit. That's good. That's good R&B right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely like locked in the Neptune's love for me, for sure. Next song needs no introduction.
About you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. What? Keep looking at me. Scared now. Right? Don't feel me, baby. It's just Justin. Feel good, right?
I want to time travel, go back to like 98, 99, tell young me that this man, Justin Timberlake, one day will be on a song with a rap duo from Virginia. I would not believe you. That song goes crazy. What are you talking about?
The goddamn guitar riff to start it up is just like what the bag that everyone was in on that whole song, like everyone, Pharrell, Chad, Justin, Malice, Pusha T, just
Inside of the bag. It was so good.
very deep in there, very
It's
deep
a sweet song.
in the Birkin, as the young kids say.
We sound so old.
in that Birkin. Okay, so my next song is one of the earlier ones from that three-peat album. Here we go.
Check this out. Yeah. All my niggas take a walk with me. You ain't gotta holler, you can talk with me. Try to learn where my thoughts can be and how I stack figures. Learn why I'm real, still that nigga. I get money, I ain't gotta do a crime. Shit, I hit dimes what I need with a nine. Before y'all judge me, be clear. We got nothing but heat here. Beware, we here. What's my name? Got chicks twisted like, what's my game? Pimp things still the same. I smash it, I don't harass it. I'm a baller, I score and pass it. Feel me, still be filthy. Making hits with the crime, I plead guilty. And this is what we came to do. Party, Diddy, Usher, game is through. Come on, check it. Right around the clock. One of your girls just called. Ask you how you look. Are you ready?
So that is I Don't Know from the 8701 album. I really enjoy this song. And so people who know me, I gotta be careful. People who know me and have known me for a long time know that when I was growing up from ages maybe let's say 11, 12 to 17, 18, that was a big bad boy window for me. There was a lot of people who used to say I looked like Sean Combs. So that was my guy. And so to hear this song and hear Sean Combs on it was really cool. It's enough about Sean Combs. Well, maybe not enough, but I just remember this single. So Gramps, who's one of my friends who's been on the show, his little sister, my little god sister Maya, had the single. Maya is probably maybe 7 or 8 years younger than us. So she had the edited version. But when I heard the original version, it was like when I heard the unedited version, I was like, damn, that was one of the first times I remember hearing like a legit R&B song where they was cussing and saying nigga. I was like, God damn, like you supposed to be in love, bro. Like you what? But Diddy started off like Diddy's verse, which we all know he didn't write, but it was very good and very appropriate for the song. And so, I guess we should mention that part of the history of Usher's background is Diddy helped start his career. Diddy executive produced that first album, the Usher self-titled album back in 1994. And they, worked together off and on throughout Usher's career. But this was supposed to be the second single from 8701. For some reason, LaFace and the execs at LaFace decided to scrap it and go quickly with You Got It Bad, which I mean, You Got It Bad is good. It's a good song, but this was a banger. Like I just felt like that's a missed opportunity.
I agree. I would say, like, in terms of personal preference, this was a song I prefer to You Got It Bad. You Got It Bad had so much story to it for like where Usher was at the time. So I think it made sense from like a commercial standpoint to put that out. But like I loved this song. Oh my God. I completely forgot like how often I used to listen to this song, actually.
All right, guys. So I'm very interested to see what this last song is from Vogue. I'm very interested. It can go in so many different directions that I mean there is one like expected direction, but with Vogue guys, you gotta come to expect the unexpected. So without further ado, Vogue, let's hear that last song.
You know what? I'm just gonna play it. Let me tell you why I couldn't not put that song as the top song.
Hey man.
Number one, presented to Michael D. Jackson.
It's a big record.
Who said no?
It's a big record.
And then it went on to Justin. Absolutely prolific history, Super Bowl history that may involve another Jackson. How could I not? And it's just so good. It's got like that disco off the wall type feel. Like it's just so good. Like there are a lot of songs on Justified that I love and like I'm a big personal fan of, but I think if you are going, I actually looked up an article that was like top 25 most iconic Neptune song, and this song was number 12. I was surprised it didn't make it higher because it is just that important of a song in like musical history as far as I'm concerned. So of course I went the expected direction for once. Rock from Justified.
Rock Your Body. Shout out to our homie Spider Tech. He posted a really dope blend. He did, I don't know if blend is the right word, but a mashup of Rock Your Body over Doja Cat song. What's the name of that Doja Cat song? Do you know?
Streets?
Is that what it is? I'd
I
rather
don't
be more
remember.
famous than, is that what it is? I said what I said.
I obviously know the song.
Well, whatever that song is for the Doja Cat fans, Spider Tech took
And
that
Red.
Paint the Town Red. Yes. Spider Tech took vocals from JT Rock Your Body, mixed them over Doja Cat Paint the Town Red. Dope, 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 dope for us as fans of Rock Your Body, obviously. And I think Doja Cat's got similar vibes for me. Not necessarily a big fan, but I think I probably like her music a little bit better than Nicki's. But anyway,
I'm a huge Doja fan,
I
so
have
let's.
I have to spend some time. I won't throw her to the side like Nikki yet. I'll say it
I'm
now.
in the same way I was willing to educate you and wait for you to come to your senses on Tyler. I'm willing to be there for you in your soon to be
Yeah.
Doja Cat fandom. She's being a little silly in the media, so we're gonna put that aside. But musically, fire.
I'll defend myself and say the Tyler thing was more about, we talked about this before, like the Tyler's own description of his progression from just making a bunch of silly songs and rapping crazy to actually making like great music, I think
Yeah,
is the switch that made me pay attention.
yeah,
The second thing I'll say about Doja Cat is I think I have not, I just have a little bit of a bad introduction to her. Previous relationship, when Doja was really starting to come out back in like 2018, 19, I was introduced to her by the previous relationship person playing the not the Moo, I think it was the Moo song and the other song Go Down. And they were just like so annoying. I was
yeah,
listening to.
yeah. I became a fan of her before Move.
Okay.
And like once she hit like Move through like the first album, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this, but she kind of came back for me.
Like Go Down. Is that a song? That's a song. Go
It
Down.
is.
Yeah.
Let me say you got out of town. I hate that song.
Yeah, that's I was like, what are we listening to?
It's not good.
Yeah.
So I see your reasoning here.
Okay. All right, guys. So my last song should be obvious. When it comes to me, I'm going to play the expected. And here we go.
Yeah, after the night, don't leave your girl around me. True player for real. Ask my nigga for real. Come on. This how it's going down. You smell it. Yeah, you smell it. Yeah. Don't leave your girl around me. True player for real. Ask my nigga for real. I'm done. Situation will arise.
I cannot wait to be watching the Super Bowl and just slide across the floor.
Yo,
Come on, dog. Come on.
yo,
Like, ask my nigga for what?
iconic.
Like, that song right there was iconic at the time. Like, just
Mm,
everything about it, man. Like, this was obviously so important this is an important song as part of that 2001, 2002, 2003 run where Neptunes were really about to like go into superstardom. This was a huge part of that for sure. I just remember like also the video was iconic too. Like having, bro, just think about in 2001, we see this man get a video message call from Puff. And that just seemed like so outrageous in 2001. Like,
right?
wow, that's crazy. I wonder if we could actually ever have that. And now we do it every day. We're doing it right now, actually. um, but that was dope. I mean, just the everything from the way that the story was told in that video specifically to match the song from getting the call from Puff and that being the continuation because those videos are like connected to each other. I think You Got It Bad leading into this, both of those featuring his real life girlfriend, significant other, Chili at the time. So really, I don't think Chili was in the first one, but it's really a trifecta of the You Remind Me, You Got It Bad, You Don't Have to Call, which is like that's really like good ass rollout of
Yeah,
singles for an album that is really good across the board. And it just shows like, I mean, I admit obviously because I have this podcast, but like my taste is skewed. Like this is to me one of the best Usher songs ever. But
Oh.
like I've seen him perform in person at Something in the Water and then on TV at J. Cole's Dreamville. And I'm like, he did these songs, he did that song early. Like that's like one of the first joints and he gets it out the way. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like that's what I want to hear, man. Like,
Yeah.
but it ain't about me. So
It's a banger. Actually, on that list I was talking about, which, take it with a grain of salt, I guess. I don't even know this website Yard Barker. That was number 8 to Rock Your Body's 12. So even this person knows.
we'll come back to let's put a pin in that conversation. What was your any songs that you felt like you were close to adding?
Well, you're gonna love this. I actually almost had 2 songs from Man of the Woods. I also really like Wave. I admit it.
Wave.
Yeah.
Let's go. I got it. Is that Wave? Yep.
I think so. I mean, I can play a little snippet. I got my list here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Yep. Hold down shoulders right there.
It's good. I almost included it, and then I felt embarrassed for having 2 songs from that album.
Okay. I felt like from my side, like I think that there's a ton of Lucy's and unreleased songs that Usher and Pharrell and the Neptunes together have. And the ones that I chose, I think are the best. And they're my favorite, but I think they're also the best. Like there's a bunch of them that are just like, okay. They were kind of like a little bit of a miss where you feel like, okay, that makes sense that it didn't get put out. Probably the only other placement on an album that I didn't include was Hot Thing, which has grown on me in the past couple of days from listening to it. Hot Thing is from that the same Looking for Myself album that has Twisted on it. Hot Thing is cool. It's got a guest verse from A$AP Rocky who was popping at the time in 2012. So Hot Thing is okay. The Lucy's are okay. Then there's the infamous Anything by Jay-Z, the strip club anthem, quote unquote, which when we've talked about that song on this show, it gets mixed result like vibes. Like some people really love it. Like Niall said he loved that song. I think my man, I don't remember exactly what Fraser Tharp said. I think he said it was trash, but yeah, polarizing, definitely polarizing. I don't want to misquote him, but I'll have to go back and look and see what Fraser actually said. But yeah, so here we go. Now, obviously, our verses is very specific, but then the question is, if this were a real versus, straight up, song for song by any producer, who would win?
Oh, interesting. So I would bet on Usher.
Okay.
Because there are 2 really no. There are a lot of really strong songs that just happen to not be produced by the Neptunes that Usher has.
Yeah.
Like I want y'all to know how hard people go for OMG. It's kind of weird.
It is very weird because it's really just like it really I can't describe it. Like, yeah, I I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like when you have these conversations about the verses, it always comes back to a show and crowd reaction and all that. So it's not only about the songs. Like I feel like if it was only about the songs, then it'd be a lot closer than it really is. But I think I'm gonna go with Usher too, just because in the verses setting, if that's the matchup, like nobody wants to hear the Chris Stapleton joint. Say something, because we love that song. I think that's a great song. I think it's a great song. Let me speak for myself. I think Say Something is a great song, but that ain't getting the bodies moving in the verses.
No.
And I don't know. So there's a Twitter account called Hot Sheets that posts about biggest Billboard hits and stuff like that. So let's look at it. We happen to share these with each other today. So to wrap up this conversation about who we think would actually win the verses, here are the top 15 hits from each artist. And I'll start with Usher. And I'll start with Justin Timberlake because we said he would lose. So I'm going to do them counting down from 15, right? 15. 15 is AO Technology with 50 Cent. Not a bad thing. I think that's an Usher. That's a Justin Timberlake song from one of the 2020 albums, I think.
I have no idea what song that is.
Summer Love from yeah, Summer Love from Future Sex. Rock Your Body at 12. Cry Me a River at 11. Give It to Me with Timbaland and Nelly Furtado at 10. 4 Minutes Madonna at
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
8, What Goes Around Comes Around. 7, with Jay-Z, Suit and Tie. 6, with T.I., Dead and Gone. So again, like Justin is in the rapper bag. We got 50 Cent, Timbaland technically rapping, Jay-Z and T.I., and then Jay-Z again at number 5 for Holy Grail. And then 4, Mirrors. 5, My Love, undeniable hit. 2, The Trolls, Can't Stop This Feeling, which is a smash, but like,
And that's based off the kids. You can't, it's like doing a church song at the Apollo. You can't say no to that.
and then number 1 is Sexy Back, which makes sense. So
Those are bangers though. Those are some strong songs. Like I love AO Technology. Stop playing with me.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so we'll do the same for Usher. At 15, You Don't Have to Call. 14,
Yeah.
David Guetta,
Yeah.
David David Guetta, Without You. I have no idea what song that is.
I do. Without you. It's one of the unsung songs. It's okay.
Okay. All right. 13, Lil Jon, Lovers and Friends, fire. 12, Confessions Part 2.
Mm, mhm.
11, Nice and Slow, They Call Me USEHER. USHER. I said EHR. What am I saying? 10 is My Way. 9, Fist Pump, DJ Guys Fall in Love Again with Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. Ugh. The is not for Pitbull, it's for fist pump music in general. Just to be clear, Pitbull, no disrespect, bro. Number 8, You Remind Me. 7, Love in This Club. 6, OMG. 5, My Boo. 4, Let It Burn. 3, You Got It Bad. 2, You Make Me Wanna. And 1, Yeah.
I'm sorry. Justin Timberlake does not beat this. Though, and those were strong songs. Like those are good songs, great songs even.
Here's the
Justin
thing.
Timberlake does not beat that list.
Here's the thing. I think that it depends on, again, it's going to be about crowd reaction, right? Because I always think about if I'm at a versus, I want to be lit. I want to be hype when songs drop. I want beat drops. I want energy. And like the Usher songs are sing-songy. You got it bad, Let It Burn, My Boo, Nice and Slow. You remind me it's kind of upbeat, but the like even Lovers and Friends is like slow, like they not like
Oh, I don't know if I can agree with that because I feel like when I'm in a public space and I've been in public spaces when some of those songs have come on, everybody is singing that song or those songs. I've been in a place where like they Lovers or Friends came on, the whole club was singing it. And this was like a couple years ago. This was not like back when it came out.
yeah. I think yeah, I don't know. I'm not like I think I'm sticking with Usher, but I think if you're putting like especially if we're just going straight off these 15, like I think there's a discussion to be had, like because the energy you're gonna get when you play like on episode, I don't know what episode, we're on episode 45. So I think that's episode 42 maybe when me and Steve battled Pharrell versus Timbaland. When he dropped Suit and Tie, and I hadn't heard Suit and Tie in a while, I'm like, Suit and Tie is fire. Suit and Tie is fire. I'm just the energy of Suit and Tie. Like, I mean, like, yeah, like we already talked about yeah being out of this world. That's just like crazy. But like, what else? What I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that he's got more hits, but
I mean, so I'm gonna do my Vaughn for a second. I guess the takeaway is these are two iconic artists. Like they have crazy catalogs, and I think that like there is a slight difference in like who maybe the songs are pointed at. But overall, when I look at just their overall, discography, I'm super impressed with the work that they've put out over the past like 20 years.
okay, I gotta remind myself about Summer Love. If Summer Love is what I think it is,
It's so good.
like that's bro, what?
Exactly.
Nah, dog. I mean, we're talking about Summer Love theoretically going up against Lovers and Friends. I mean, you're gonna get people in their bag where they're gonna be singing tell like that. You're gonna get that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, depending on who goes first, you
Summer
just
Love is a banger.
yo, I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. It's I mean, as much as I hate to say it, if we're in because we're having a conversation that's getting to be about these 15 songs specifically, but there's gonna be a segment of this audience that is gonna react bigger and better to AO technology compared to You Don't Have to Call. As much as it hates me, as much as I hate to say that, as much as I hate to say that,
Want to
there,
know a secret? I'm in that segment.
that's
I
what I'm
love
saying.
that technology.
That's what I'm saying.
So
That's
good.
what I'm saying. Just if this were the 15 that Usher, I mean that these two like that Justin was playing with, like
It's a tight race. And you know what's interesting? Like back when Versus was like a thing, I think that the conversation, like there is no one that we could come up with to go against him. And I think that is because in that space, which I felt like was appropriate for what it was, the platform and what it was very largely Black artists
right.
stepping into that space. But I would have put a Justin Timberlake against Usher. I think that's probably the only person I would have put against him. So very tight race.
Man. Mm. Okay. All right.
I am gonna go listen to some of these songs now.
Yes.
Although I will say for the record, and this is important for me to say, I think I won this.
I will say that this is yours for sure. Because the songs I play are songs that people don't know and like you can't get them on streaming. So like you got this one. 100%.
Yeah, it was just really a matter of like the songs that Justin did with the Neptunes were a little bit more high profile.
Yes.
So they were in the mainstream and charting and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. Last question is Justified or Confessions?
Oh, why would you say that?
Mm.
Wow. What? I don't have an answer for this. Hold on. I got to look at the confessions list real quick
Confessions has got like
before I answer something crazy.
Confessions has got like 7 singles on it. Like
Ooh, I'm sorry. It's confessions. That
especially
was,
add like the fact that it added the extra songs. Like
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean
it's confessions for me. And don't get me wrong, because I was about to just like go and say justified.
it's that's why he would win the verses because of the songs that are on Confessions that were not in that top 15 list. Like Confessions, we're talking about, yeah, which we already talked about, whatever. Yeah. Could not even play that one if you wanted to and still go,
Oh yeah.
hey, the niggas love a little throwback with Jadakiss.
Yes.
Like
Ooh, you know I want
obviously
you.
Confessions, obviously Let It Burn, Caught Up is fire.
Superstar.
Y'all know Superstar is, come on, man. Bad Girl? That this is why Usher wins.
Wow.
Forget that shit I was just talking about earlier. This is why
Yeah.
Usher wins.
Yeah.
Bad Girl, my like, come on, man. When
Wow.
Bad Girl drops anywhere, bro.
The whole room loses it.
Yeah.
This was super fun.
Man, this was a hell of a way to kick off the tribute to R&B. Man, I hope everyone enjoyed it because we're just getting started, folks.
Welcome to season 4.
Just getting started. Got a lot in store. Vogue, good to see you, kid.
It's good to see you too.
Let me look at my list. I'm not going to spoil it, but I just want to have an idea. What's next up? Let me feel like part of me wants to start giving people a heads up about what the next episode is, but then I also like don't want to commit to that because stuff happens.
That's true.
But I will say, looking at the list of proposed episodes that we discussed so far, the next one is going to be a doozy. Man. If you enjoyed this one, okay. All right, everybody. Appreciate you listening to another episode of Neptune Sunday. Thank you for tuning in to season 4, tribute to R&B. Can't wait to have another discussion about some of the best R&B music to come out involved with people around the Neptunes and Pharrell. Lots of good fun we're going to have on this season. Check you next time. Peace and love.